All right, the program's still here this morning on ITV. We said that we're going to be talking about the insecurity situation in the country, state of the nation, looking at the insecurity situation in Nigeria, and also professing, solutions on how the country can move forward in the area of insecurity. Now, I've got so many things here. First and foremost, we'll have the latest now, where that happened yesterday in Rivers State, where 5 soldiers feared dead, and in a fresh attack carried out by gunmen on security formation in Rivers State. And we also have the one that talks about in Benin State here, we have the one that talks about stakeholders, actually suggesting state policing as well as political will to handle the insecurity in the country. Well, that's a suggestion. We're going to be talking about that as we get along on the show. Then also, we also understand that the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has directed that all perpetrators of the attack on security personnel in the Ikore local government area of the state should be arrested and brought to justice. Now, the big question on that is that these persons, have they been captured? Have they been found? That is one big question that people are asking. Then also we have the report that says that over 3,000 people have been displaced following an attack on Kauri community in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. The state governor, Governor Abaka Bello, confirmed the presence of insurgents in the community yesterday. Then also we have the one that talks about armed bandits have killed 2 more abducted Greenfield University students, bringing the total number to 5 students that have been captured. The Commissioner for Internal Security in the State and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruma, broke the news, said the bodies have been evacuated to a mortuary, and the university has been notified of the committee of the development. Then also, good enough, we understand that the Secretary of State to the United States, Anthony Blinken, is going to be meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari today. It's going to be a virtual meeting. He's also going to be meeting with the authorities in Kenya. But in Nigeria, the Secretary of State is going to be talking about security issues and also how to strengthen democratic governance in the country in Nigeria. I think the most interesting one here is the issue that borders on security in the country. We're told that he's going to be also making some suggestions to the Nigerian authority to see how insecurity can be handled in the country. Now, the bottom of all this, happens to be what happened recently over the weekend in Imo State, to be precise, in Olu, local government area of the state, where we understand that sporadic shooting took place. And some said that it culminated into the killing of one of the IPOP commanders. And as a reprisal attack, there were a series of shootings, series of gunfire, and a lot of government facilities were touched. Also, the house of the Imo State governor was also allegedly burnt down. Some say it was burned down, while some say it was 1 or 2 vehicles in the compound that were burned down. Well, all this today, also the suspension of Channels Television came, as an aftermath of looking at some of the insecurity issues in the country. We understand that it is only the terrestrial transmission of Channels Television that has been suspended. The pay transmission, that's the online, the live stream transmission, is still ongoing. That's what we have read. So all this boils down to all the insecurity situations in the country. All this happening within this last few weeks in our country. Well, to look at all this today on the program this morning on ITV, we're so privileged to have Mr. Nowita Igbotako, who is a conflict resolution expert and also a policy expert too. We're expecting Honorable Destiny Inabulele, the immediate past chairman of Ovia Southwest local government area. He's going to come so that we can talk on what we're going to be looking at today. Mr. Nowita, you're welcome to this program this morning on ITV.
Thank you so much. All right, viewers.
All right, now you heard the rundown that I just went through, all culminating into the insecurity situation in the country. Now, how can we readily describe what we think is going on in our nation today?
what we have is terrible. We've never had it so bad. So bad in the history of Nigeria. We have never had it so bad. What is available, what is manifesting in the polity is almost like a situation where we had during the Nigerian Civil War, because we are more like in a war situation. Because now and then you hear killings, you hear maiming, awful stories in the north, in the west, in the south, in the east. We never had it so bad, and this, what we're having is as a result of lack of political will to handle the security situation in the country. I call it lack of political will, because once there's a leadership in place, leadership is in place to take care of security, to take care of lives, in the country. So, and it is a constitutional matter. Security, is a constitutional matter, in our books, and it is a crucial issue that leadership of this country would have handled positively. I don't think they handled it positively, because I see a situation whereby a lot of politicization of security in this country. I see a situation whereby issues are being politicized. I see emotion coming into fighting security. I see religion coming into fighting security. Because this situation warrants a frontal approach. A frontal approach. Because once we know, as a professional, conflict situation, when there's a conflict, what do? You find a way to resolve it. We know what we call, in conflict resolution, we know what we call peace building. We know that's what we call conflict transformation. When there's a conflict, the leadership will ensure that the conflict is transformed into something positive. To nip in the bud what would have led to that situation. But what we see in Nigeria is the reverse is the case. We see a situation whereby the leadership doesn't seem to be serious. Because before now, we had expected that a state of emergency would have been declared in terms of security in this country. State of emergency. But we don't have that. Why did you see whereby sentiment, as I said, emotion are being brought to handle security situation? It's so sad. It's so sad. And Nigeria is not the only country that is being confronted with security challenges. But we know what is available in other climes. We should Nigerian leaders should put on this thinking cap.
Okay. Now, when analysts like you say that probably lack of political will,
yes,
that is what has brought us to where we are now. Now, some other people begin to look at it differently. Now, we understand that recently most Nigerians called for the rejigging of the security architecture, yes, the security network, security structure of the country. That has to do with bringing in new service chiefs and all that, and that was done. Then also a lot of people also called for bringing another Inspector General of Police, and that was also done. Then what we recently have now, quasi-security organizations across the country. In the east, you have the recent one, the Ebube Agu. In the south west, you have Amutekun. Even in our Edo State here, you have the Vigilante Security Network. Now, why is it that all this, despite the formation of all these security organizations, we are still dealing with insecurity? What do you think is the issue?
Well, one of the issues that is very clear is the issue of poverty. Poverty is a factor. You understand? Hunger is a factor. You understand? And Nigeria, as I said, is not the only country that has been confronted with security situations. For instance, because when you have a situation, you want to set example at what is available, what is being done elsewhere. For instance, in the United States, for instance, we knew what was there before President Biden came on board. The president came in And we've seen, I think today or tomorrow, so it'll be 100 days in office.
President Biden.
Yeah, Biden.
Yeah.
So we saw the pragmatic, position he had taken. He has taken so far. You see, you see that bill, that law that came into that was passed, one of the trillions. I can't get the exact figures now. To tackle the economic situation, to tackle poverty, to tackle joblessness and all that. So in Nigeria, for instance, we expected, I'm still going to talk about political leadership, because we need a pragmatic approach. How many times have the government in place put together a security summit? How many times? We are talking of changing security chiefs and changing the leader of police. Is that the solution to the problem? We want a situation whereby the government of the day will provide solution. One, because whether you like it or not, poverty is an issue. Because talking about conflict, these are the things that generate conflict. These are the things that manifest, that break conflict in any society. Poverty, hunger, and what have you. So, Nigerian leadership has to take an holistic approach to solve the issue of poverty, to solve the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. You see, and as I said, talking about leadership, political leadership, you need sincerity. Sincerity, leadership sincerity, leadership that is devoid of religion, ethnic, and tribalism and what have you. Because we are talking of Nigeria, we're not talking of an entity that is different from Nigeria. So the issue is that what Nigeria needs is a leadership that will be seen to be proactive. For instance, the Issa Pantami issue. This issue came up. This is a minister in the Federal Republic of Nigeria that had links with dreaded terrorist groups.
Well, some say that's only an allegation.
People, we have done. I am a conflict resolution. We have done our investigations too, and for the federal government to have come up to tell us that, Issa Pantami made such statement when he was an amateur, when he had not grown up as a man, that now he's grown up and all that, and we cannot take that, because what Nigerians expected from the federal government is to take position. What will take the federal government to remove this guy, just to show that this government is not interested in politicization of security or ethnicization of security situation. We are talking of, okay, look at what is happening in the Northeast. The governor is willing. The governor just told us less than 24 hours ago that Boko Haram people, they are retaking Borno State. So when you have a character like Issa Pantami in Buhari administration, and the presidential spokesman, they have come up with a position that the man should not be crucified and all that. This is what I'm talking about, political will. And before now, we would have expected a situation whereby there will be a security summit or a state of emergency in the security situation in Nigeria. But that is not what we have. We have sentiment being taken to the high level, instead of frontal policies that will take care of insecurity. And look at the security architecture in Nigeria. Look at the personnel. They are mostly from one side of the country. It's one or two persons that are not even from the northern axis of Nigeria. Are we saying the people who are even at the helm of affairs instead of security situation in the country, are they the best in the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Must it be a Muhammad Akali or somebody that will be Inspector of Police? What happens to other brilliant cerebral officers that are on the line? Well, we know, we know the trick.
In as much as we say that,
so the people who are retired to pay way for Inspector Akali Baba or something. Some people are retired to pay way for a Bawa or a Bama or something. The guy in the EFCC now. What are we saying? Do we sentimentalize security situation? That's why I said the leadership is sincerity. We want sincerity. We don't want party security. It has to be something to be done with passion. We want to see passion. We want to see. We want to see pragmatic, manifestation of leadership. Pragmatic manifestation in service security. So that's where we are. And just as I mentioned, Joe Biden. As I said, security, there are a lot of factors that lead to insecurity in the situation. It's hunger, poverty, and what have you. But have you seen any frontal economic policy for this administration? We know there are crimes everywhere. Even in the United States, there are shootings, there are this and that. But it's not as prevalent as we have in Nigeria.
Yeah, when you say frontal economic solutions now, I think we also need to exercise caution with the way we say that. Because the issue of economic downturn, so to say, is almost global. It's not restricted to the nation.
Governments are taking proactive actions. In UK, Boris Johnson is already with his taking cap. I don't mention Joe Biden. Look at his rating. 100 days in office. He has rated far above Donald Trump. Okay. For instance, let's compare this pandemic, COVID-19. One of the reasons that pushed Donald Trump out of power was his lackadaisical attitude towards COVID-19 in the United States. It was one of the big factors that knocked Donald Trump presidency out of contention. Now Joe Biden came and look at the issues. You could feel it. You could feel the ambition. You could feel the passion coming from the president. You could see the will. Imagine Joe Biden has told us that July 1st or so, 2nd, American Independence Day, is looking at people coming out and all that. That's a leader that think ahead.
Okay, now let's also look at it differently, because for most people, they will say that Nigeria has never had it like this.
It's so bad.
And, those are the kind of people that will say that it's all probably, Ghana towards 2023 election. Now, with what is going on in the East, I mean, with what happened recently in Imo State and all that, do you think all these insecurity issues, they have some form of political coloration?
Yeah. IPOP, indigenous people, organization of Biafra, has been a thorn. Daniel Kanu, the leader, and others, subordinates of IPOP, they have been a thorn in the flesh of the Buhari administration. That is a fact. And some of us are not in support of what Daniel Kanu started. But given the reality on the ground, there is no political sincerity. Leadership, political sincerity is not in this country. I'm sorry to say.
When you say IPOP has been
IPOP, it has been a talk, because IPOP, the Igbos, for instance, after this civil war, till tomorrow, for me, for what we know, from what we do, from my professional background, and we know that the Igbos have not properly been incorporated into the mainstream of Nigeria. And you know what I'm saying?
But you can't.
There's a limit.
You cannot say so.
That is the reality. After the civil war, how many Igbo presidents have we had? How many Igbo?
Anyway, when you talk, I was going to ask you, when you talk about IPOP, what do you think is the aim of IPOP?
IPOP are looking for
self-succession.
Well, but what I see, IPOP is fighting for. They are fighting marginalization in Nigerian polity. It's marginalization.
That the Igbos are marginalized against?
They are marginalized. I am not an Igbo man, but as somebody with civil society background, and we like to say the truth, and with my professional background, the Igbos are marginalized and they feel insecure in Nigeria, in spite of the marvelous, outstanding contributions of Igbos to Nigerian economic development. The other thing, in fact, one of the best Igbo sons that they were making waves across the globe. That's why I'm talking that when I started talking about leadership insincerity, why the East is boiling is because the federal government don't want to hear anything about IPOB. There are a lot of manipulation going on in the East. They are using people, they are using the government, the people, they are just killing each other. At the end product is to liquidate IPOB.
Well, that's
okay, now, are we saying the situation going on in the East is that more grievous than the herdsmen menace over the country?
Yeah, but you also cannot say that, because the approach of the federal government, is general. So it's not only in the East alone.
I see.
The way we have it in the East, that's the way the approach is also coming from the federal government in the North, even in the South.
No, it's not so. It's not so. I won't agree with you. When did it took the presidency, how many years? It's 2015. To not say if you see any herdsmen, you can shoot, or you can do that kind of.
No, he didn't say if you see any herdsmen. He said if you see anybody with AK-47,
AK-47, you can self-defense, you can defend yourself. It took how many years in a federation called Nigeria? In a federation called Nigeria, is that how to resolve conflict? I told you, because my background is a conflict resolution person. If there's conflict, you think of transforming it into a positive situation, transforming the conflict into social, political, economic, development.
Okay, so in this case
transform, but here we're not transforming the conflict. Where the thing is getting messed up every day.
All right, no,
there's no sincerity.
All right, no, from your point of view, because the way you are describing it now, it's more of a conflict situation that Nigeria is in now.
Yes,
but some people will say that's not the case, that it's just, challenge and all that. Now, from your own point of view, how do you think we can begin to change this situation into a more economic, more viable situation, just like what you said earlier on?
As I said, you see what happened after the NSAS protest. The leaders in the system, they became jittery. We saw them, the thing was very clear. We saw some of those makeshift pronouncements that were made by governments, by some state government and all that. But we want a more coordinated economic package. Okay, we're talking of insecurity, we're talking of killings in every nooks and crannies of the country. Do you know how much is being voted to fight security in Nigeria? The other day, the Senate, some few days ago, the Senate approved another money for the armed forces and things like that. So what we want is sincerity to tackle corruption. To tackle insecurity.
Yeah.
We want a sincerity by a coordinated approach. Come up with a policy. Why not employ enough manpower? For instance, the police is understaffed. The manpower of police is drastically, it's not up to what they were. We need more policemen. For instance, why don't the federal government come out with a policy? For instance, in United States, what we call the National Guard. Once there is a crisis, National Guard comes out. That is an institutional position that that have taken place in the United States, called the National Guard. So what do we have in Nigeria? Do we even take care of our pensioners? So I use opportunity to call the federal government to employ more personnel for the Nigerian police and not to handle security situation with religious lens. Religious lens is an issue. The tribe of a man should not determine who should be in charge of our security situation. Because we are all that cerebral, all that brilliant, all that fantastic, astounding, individuals who have demonstrated competence in their different professional background, who can handle these issues. Okay, for instance, because you say I quickly refer to the US. For instance, the Biden administration has put in one of the best individuals around. The Biden presidency. How many Nigerians are in that administration? It has never happened. The population of Nigerians who are working to promote the success of President Joe Biden, they are more. Because the Biden administrations are saying something in those individuals.
Okay, no,
but in Nigeria, that is not the situation.
Yeah.
You will agree with me, Evans. You will agree with me that in Nigeria, the best people are not put in positions. Is it the DSS? Is it the Nigerian Navy? Is it the NNPC? Is it anywhere? The best brains in this country are not being utilized. The best policies are not being rolled out. A lot of sentiment, a lot of emotion, a lot of religious considerations for people to be put in positions. How do we move forward? How do we overcome this security?
Anyway, let's...
These are the facts. What I know about conflict resolution is that what we call peace building. Are we building peace when we are looking at ethnic, we are looking at the color, you're looking at the mark in somebody's face to put that person in position? Is that how to build peace? Now, the peace building I know professionally is to put the best brains without looking at faces. Beautiful.
Now, when we talk like this, one good thing that I like about it is that we are talking to ourselves.
Yes.
Now, it goes to show that all of us we have a role to play in bringing back security in this country. Now, I just want you to react to something. There's a major headline on the Punch newspaper whereby the All Progressives Congress reacted and said that Buhari will soon deal with criminals. Sponsors, says the All Progressives Congress. Now, I'm going to let you see something here, and it says that the All Progressives Congress on Monday said the President Major General Buhari retired and his regime will soon deal with those behind Nigeria's growing insecurity. It said that the current security challenge was real. As such, the APC as a political party would not play politics with human lives. Then also, this was contained, okay, it says that, there's an aspect that talks about okay, it says that this was contained in a statement titled, "We must unite against insecurity together and we fight insecurity." APC, signed by the party's National Secretary, Senator John Akpono-Doche in Abuja on Monday. That was only yesterday. Now, the clause, the underlining word is that we must unite against insecurity. Now, with what is going on in the East, with all this insurrection of the IPOP, the other groups and all that. Now, how do you see Nigeria uniting together to fight a common field? What is insecurity?
You see, in the first place, as I said, I'll continue to say it. There is insincerity. We're not sincere. The leadership is not sincere. In fact, insecurity. The other day,
we're not talking about the leadership now. We're talking about we the people. We the people.
That's what people are taking. Okay, look at
you have a situation. Yeah, we have a situation whereby
what led to the part of Amotekun?
We have a situation whereby you have small groups, just evolving. All of them, they are looking for self-succession. If we have that situation, how do we unite against insecurity?
You see, because these people felt threatened, they feel unwanted, they feel uninvited to be part of the Nigerian house. When I say Nigerian house, Nigeria. They are looking for relevance, they are looking for avenue to ventilate their bottled up emotions. And somebody was telling me that the Oduduwa thing is like a carrot. And I believe. I really damn deep. I don't see an Oduduwa Republic going anywhere.
No, you can't say so. You can't say so. You're not part of they have their aim and objective.
When I say going anywhere,
yeah.
I mean that it's a pressure. The Oduduwa whatever came on board and other secessionist groups because they feel frustrated. They feel dehumanized. They feel brutalized. They feel unwanted.
Yeah, this eruption, the eruption of secessionist groups here and there. Don't you think it portends a great danger for our nation?
It's what I'm saying. But I'm not telling you about my view that, for instance, the Oduduwa Republic may not fly as some people wanted it to fly. They are just looking for a way to say, hey, wait a moment, because the federal government will not want a situation where any component unit that made the federation want to secede or want to take a walk. They will not succumb to that. And the secessionists, they know that. And the only way they can draw attention, the only way they can draw attention of the federal government, the only way they can draw the attention of Abuja, Asoro, it will say, hey, we are taking a walk out of Nigeria, which is quite sad, very sad. And that reminds me, when I spoke some years ago, when I met the late Anthony Enaoro, the man who moved the motion for Nigerian independence in 1953 on the floor of the Western House of Assembly. He said, I met him when I was promoting one of my books, Where We Are, 2009. I met him, I said, the man said, we don't have a country. Anthony Enaoro, because it's an ancestor that we respect.
But I want to take that from
you.
Anthony Enaoro is not here now to confirm whether he actually told you that we don't have the country.
At that time, the situation, Nigeria security situation had not even degenerated to what we are. And the man said, the Nigerian house is no more a house. But now, the thing has degenerated. People are no longer secure. Because we don't have a sincere leader at the center that's ready to do things, impartially. So,
but you cannot also say so.
That is what we see.
Yeah, because I just told you whereby the APC, that's the All Progressives Congress,
the ruling party has
owned up. They have owned up to the insecurity situation in the country. So when you say,
is that not ridiculous? How many years since the APC have been taking the reins of our governance in this country? It's now one Alaji or chief. So he's talking that now they want to confront. So how many stakeholders meetings have they called? Before now, we expected a state of emergency to have been declared in a country that we're in a war situation.
Yeah, but we've heard of a series of security summits in the north. Yeah,
how many summits have we had? How many of the resolutions have been, implemented? That we're talking about will, political will, sincere leadership. How many times have I seen our president talking to us? Because we need a leader that will appear and talk to Nigerians. That reminds me of Franklin Delano Roosevelt in America in the 30s. In fact, it's a reminiscence of what is happening in America now. During the Great Depression in the US. This man was on a wheelchair, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Incapacitated on a wheelchair, but the man established what they call the fire chart. Every month, this man talks to American people how to get out of the depression. That is leadership. How many times have you heard from the Minister of Information on certain things to be done? Or what we hear from me is reactions, telling us some lies.
No, you cannot say so. No,
that is what we feel. I'm speaking the minds of thousands and millions of Nigerians.
Yeah, when
Nigerians are not happy. Nigerians are pushed to the wall. Nigerians have never felt insecure.
All right,
in their lives. We want action.
Yeah, let's begin to see how we can provide solutions now.
Let's declare state of emergency.
Emotions will not take us anywhere. Let's begin to see how we can provide solutions. Let's see now.
Let's employ as many manpower into the Nigerian police force, to the Navy. We have the money, we have the resources. I was looking yesterday, the revenue management RAMAC, they are talking about reviewing salaries of political officers.
Allocations committee.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is long overdue. We know how much that is going down the drain to service our politicians. We want leadership. Before now, I said the presidency to say, hey, wait a moment. I'm going to show by example. I'm cutting my salaries, ministers, the governors, this, that. This is the way to go.
But don't you think what you are saying now, all these are statutory issues? I mean, they are legislation. It's not. Somebody can't just rise up one day.
Can't it be emanate from the presidency on that regard? Can't it be emanate from the presidency? Even can't it become? How many bills has Joe Biden sent to the American Parliament on how to bring America out of the mess that COVID-19 has, you know? So we want leadership. We want action. Let's employ as many manpower. Benin City is gravely undermanned in terms of policing. Benin City, for instance, and the station all over. Can't we put a policy in position? We have something like what we have in America, the National Guard. These people will appear when there is conflict situation, when there is a unmanageable crisis. They come up like part-time. Employ people, put them in the Navy, put them in the Army, do these things, and a package, economic package, like what Biden has done, is stimulus. It's the biggest. I don't have the figure now, trillions in Nigerian history. No president has gone down to that bar to pull Americans from the menace that COVID-19 has put them, and that is working. So what is wrong if the federal government cannot do that? What is wrong for the Nigerian federal government to have coming up with a magnificent, with a coordinated economic policy and push it into the House of Reps?
Anyway, no, which I would say.
So that day, the House of Representatives were talking about 2021 economic stimulus. We have not heard anything. We don't know what is happening. After the COVID-19, how many Nigerians were given palliatives? Is that a government that is serious? Is that the government that wants to fight security?
No, which I would say. We
need leadership.
We are hopeful. Nigeria has leadership. We must.
We have, but the leadership is in question.
Yeah, it is in question to the extent that even the followership too, they are in question too.
That's
another issue.
It's another issue.
Because it takes good followership for us to have good leadership. If you don't have good followership, then of course the leadership may just be working in vain.
Okay,
some people say that is the situation in the country.
I don't want to deviate from what we are discussing. Do we have free and fair election in this country? Because
anyway, let us not, because we don't have time.
Because that's the root.
we don't have time. I'm happy that the All Progressives Congress, just like what
it's a good development.
I read to you
to declare state of emergency,
that they have said that they are aware. The APCs are aware of the insecurity situation in the country, and of course they are making effort to see how it will be brought to a standstill. As a matter of fact, criminals and sponsors of criminals of the heinous crimes across the country are going to be dealt with. That's what the presidency has told us, and we should be very hopeful. Nowita Ibutako is a conflict resolution expert and a public affairs analyst. And hopefully he's going to be joining us some other time when we invite him to talk on some issues. And just like what we say here, that every opinion and points, position of our guests, they are not the opinion and position of independent radio and television. We invite them because we believe we have the responsibility, the social corporate responsibility, to let people out there also have their say. So you might be the next person that we'll invite, so that you can also bear your mind on some of the issues that are going on. So Nowita Ibutako has aired his opinion. It is not the opinion of independent radio and television.